Oh my gosh, this thing's in the back one of me.
Why don't you just talk to me when I'm over there?
No.
I think it's great.
You gotta do this.
Okay. Fine, okay. Well, I guess, are we going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess the question is sort of what you've learned at Kenyon, or what has been a big part of your experience here.
I've learned a lot at Kenyon. Honestly, Kenyon has offered so much, but at the same time I encountered the same problems that I did in high school about who I am, not just me questioning who I am, but who I am in the eyes of others. And so when I was a freshman, I guess I found a place within the black group of people that used to, you know, swarm around campus. And we sat at the black table together, we went out at night in big groups, and I would encounter people who would ask me, you know, where the other ones are, you know. But I mean, I've definitely developed since then, and I don't really hang out with the same crowd. Times change, people move on, I moved on. But also, my identity here has been known as an athlete, and I can't seem to quite escape being the black girl. And so it's weird for me when people impose identity upon me and in essence tell me what should offend me and what shouldn't. I'm not one of those people that gets very okay, I do get defensive, but I guess not about things that people think I should be defensive about. And so there's a lot of times when, especially when I first got here, my friends were like the black people. That sounds awful. My friends were the black people, but I would also be an athlete, so I would I don't mean to say forcibly, like I didn't like it, but it was just I was put in an environment, in a situation where I would hang out with people who weren't black, and that was, you know, very juxtaposed. I would go to Pierce and I would sit at the black table, but then I would go down to the CAC and I would be not black people, you know? And I found that sometimes people say things that other people determine should be offensive to me, but I'm not really offended by it. Because the worst thing you can be at this school, this very liberal, you know, the worst thing you can be is a racist. And no one thinks they are racist, no one wants to be a racist, and when you call someone racist, it's like, gasp, like, what did I do wrong? But at the same time, I'm not sure that anyone really knows what that means.
What it means to be a racist?
Yeah, because there's a line. Sometimes there's people who think that whenever you mention the word black, it's like, oh, you're being a racist, that's inappropriate, and I'll be like, well, what if it's just true? And then there's, you know, when I went natural and I cut off my hair, you know, people say my hair's a little bit wild today, a little bit curly, not be like, don't talk about your hair like that, and I'll be like, well, that's true. You know? So people jump to my defense sometimes, and it's very awkward because it's like, oh, I'm not a racist, I'm fending off all the racists in the land, but I'm just kind of like, oh, should I have been offended by that? And I have to think about it. But then the moment that someone does something that does offend me, and I think about how I need to fix it and how I need to stand up to that situation, I become the face of black people at this school. I become the opinion. Yeah. And so I have to be careful about what I say, how I say it, and like when is the right time. And oftentimes I feel like it's never the right time. But so the moment that I decide to be like, whoa, you crossed the line, that was racist, I've said the worst thing to that individual. I've called them, you know, racist jerk, you know, I might as well just toss them out in the street. And then people tiptoe around me, you know, and they're afraid to say things that involve my race, but it's here, like, you can't ignore it, so I don't understand. But it's something that with my friends who are also minorities, not even just black, but also minorities, I can talk to them about these things and not risk being the face of all black people in the world. I'll be like, look, I don't think that this is valid. Like, I disagree with you, but I can say that and engage in debate with them and talk about the R-word, like, race with them, and it's fine. That's not something that I've been able to establish with my other peers as well. And I just want to be representative of me. I've had a very unique experience with race on this campus from my peers, I believe, and I just want to be in a situation where people, like, you can, I say this, lightly, you can say offensive things to me, but, like, let's talk about it afterwards. Let's figure it out, and let's not be afraid to, like, encounter that. But I don't want you to be like, oh, whispering, like, oh, I don't think that I should say that because I think it's racist. Like, I can hear you. And I just want to be me on this campus. And even though I hang out with certain crowd, even though I'm part of the BSU, it doesn't mean that I'm, like, hyper race, tiptoe around me, don't talk to me about things that you want to talk to about because you're afraid that you might offend me. If you're going to offend me, it's because I'm me. It's because I get offended when people, don't think I'm funny. Not seriously offended, but I'm going to be one of those old people in life who laughs at their own jokes, And I'll be like, why aren't you laughing? I thought that was funny. I wish that people weren't afraid to get to know me on that level. And I wish people didn't impose identity upon me. There aren't things that I have to be offended by. It took me a while to get to that point, but there are things that are just downright funny, And I don't know, it's just a line that I tiptoe every day when I go down to the CAC when I play sports. I just want people, the worst thing that you can do is not say how you feel to me, because I want to establish that. I want to know, like, the real you. I don't want to know the PC version of you. But I want us to talk about it. I want us to understand. And I say that lightly because we're in the Kenyan bubble, and I realize in the real world, I'm going to get offended, and I'll never see that person ever again, and I'll be really mad at them, and stuff happens. But so I mean that for here, because this is a community, these are mostly people that I know. So I guess I just wish that I wasn't the face of the race. And that I was just me.
I get you. Okay.
You can participate in the conversation too. You look like
Another can be like, you see that one video? Who is she?
Oh my gosh.
I'm still filming.
What?
I put these in there so that they know we're funny people.
A waste of Kenyan money.
Oh my